People.
Welcome into the Hustle Show podcast. Drew Martin, Kelly in Vegas, CT Bets, Adam Trigger. We're breaking down NBA Finals Game 3 tonight, Wednesday, June 8th, and a recap of a great New York City trip. At least I think it was great. It looked fun. We'll get the recap here from the three amigos. We got Kelly in Vegas on Twitter, at Kelly in Vegas, Barstool Sportsbook, WagerTalk.com. Kelly, welcome in. How you feeling?
Hey, Drew. Life is good. Apparently, I owe my mom an apology. She thought I was hammered in New York, when in fact, I was just really hungover. So I think that created more angst. And, technology can get really frustrating. So it carried over right in the show. That was actually my first Viva of the day was on the show. And it took me almost the whole show to get it down. But once you get that first one down, it's like smooth sailing. I get back to the hotel room. I'm like, all right, I got an early flight. I'm going to bed. I don't know what time my phone rings, but it was a male screaming at the top of his lungs. So it's either one of the two in the lower half of the of the screen, because they're the only two that knew my room number. And I just hung up. And then the next morning I woke up to a "you hung up on me" text. So it was actually Chris. And I had thought about just calling up to his room and just screaming as loud as I could on the phone, but I couldn't remember his room number.
Okay, nice little start. Wait, we'll get a little bit more in depth as it goes on from Kelly. We got CT Bet 16, heard him there. Chris, welcome in, buddy.
Drew Martin Bets, I'm doing well. We miss you very much so in New York City. We did have a really good time. We'll get into that later. The girls did an unbelievable job setting everything up. If we didn't have them, there would have been no live show. So I know my brother and the whole Viva crew really appreciated it. And I think the Canuck did as well. We had a good turnout. We had a great time. We made the best of it. We are all not huge New York City fans. We probably all of us.
I'd like to interject. I figured it out. It's not that I don't like New York City. I just don't like the part of New York City I'm constantly in for work, where the Queen lives, the Upper East Side, Soho. Oh, I can definitely get along there.
Well, I mean, put it this way, Drew, we could have probably all thought of other things we'd rather be doing that weekend, but it was a team effort, and we did it for the show and for Viva, and we ended up having a good time.
Adam Trigger, last certainly not least, at Top Flight SI. Welcome in, Trig.
What's going on, Drew? I'm still exhausted. I think I'm still sick.
He was sick when he left. Oh, I don't want to hear you being sick. Just man up. You do not have a week-long hangover.
CT and I were out till all hours with like a couple listeners of the show.
Danny Dimes!
We were taking shots out of a hockey stick at one point.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure all three of our, like, I was looking back at the show. Chris gave out Avalanche at 1. Kelly gave the under in the basketball game at 1. I gave out the Mets. It won. My Korean baseball pick ended in a tie, which means it push, because that can happen, Kel. After 12 innings, it's a tie. But overall a pretty good show, and the Canuck was like awesome. So that was a great time. They hooked it up for us. Viva hooked it up. It was fun.
I can't wait till the next one, guys, in Las Vegas, the middle to end of August. We'll keep you updated on the exact date. Thrown by WagerTalk and Viva. We'll do a hustle show there as well. But guys, hey, we're going to hit the NBA first on the hustle, and then we're going to kind of break down the weekend. I know a lot of people out there wanting to hear a little bit more in depth what happened in New York City, but just a quick reminder here, we are brought to you by Viva Tequila Seltzer Grapefruit. This is Kelly and Vegas's favorite. We got Huckleberry down there as well. One of my favorites as well. Actually, Huckleberry a little bit better if you're wanting a loaded Viva to pour a little more tequila in. I like that kind. But guys, reminder, Viva Tequila Seltzer, refreshing and drinkable hard seltzer, 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 4.5% ABV. Viva, the perfect drink for your post-game or pre-game celebrations, as it was created with the active lifestyle in mind. Kelly, I saw your face light up there. I don't want to take it away. What were you saying?
No, I'm just laughing because apparently I lost some people in translation with the loaded Viva, because technically Pink Whitney is not tequila based. But the flavor, and this was not my creation. I know it appeared like it was. One of the owners of Viva, and we're at a hockey bar, and Barstool Sports is like waving around a Pink Whitney bottle saying how good it was with the Huckleberry. Trig was drinking a Huckleberry, so I said, bring it over. That's when I loaded Trig's Viva. I did not get a chance to taste it because it was gone before I was ready to like, full-on drink. And obviously, I also drank the Canuck out of all the grapefruits. And then I was pissed when there was no more grapefruits left, because I told everybody they had to try the flavor. completely beside the point. But it was an interesting taste. According to Trig, he said he really liked it. So I kind of thought it was fun, like a little Viva / Barstool collaboration there.
Quick review of the KIV, that's what I'm calling it's the Huckleberry plus Pink Whitney. It's obviously you're adding more alcohol, but it's not like, whereas if you do a true loaded Viva, Drew Martin Betts style, which is just dumping tequila into your drink, shot. That's a little, that could be a little harsh if you're not like really a tequila drinker or can handle that like upfront kick of tequila. That could be a little harsh, but the Pink Whitney in there doesn't really taste like more alcohol. It's just like, a couple berry flavors mixed, but really you're drinking vodka and tequila. So that's probably why the night got so interesting. Who knows? It's pretty good.
I will say that, sorry to interject one more thing on the Viva front, is that I don't like tequila. That's the funny thing. I love margaritas. I love Vivas. I love a good tequila sunrise if I'm on vacation. I love a good frozen strawberry margarita. Things with tequila and I like, but I could not do a shot of tequila. So when I tried doing a loaded Viva last time I was with Drew Martin Betts, I almost died. Like it was too much for me. But I would agree that like we got to find like that sweet spot, and I'll take credit. We'll call that one the KIV. But I do think that there's some other, and don't take this disrespectfully, Trig, but maybe some more lightweight friendly. Like me, I'm the lightweight that is not going to be so overpowering, that goes really well with those Viva flavors, because like they said, it is a subtle tequila flavor, just like a margarita is, because it balances so well. So if you guys got any ideas, drop them in the comments. We'll give them a try. I got a whole fridge full of Vivas I brought home from New York. Nice. That's the perks of checking a bag, guys.
Listen, Kelly, you're not a lightweight when it's one of like 15. Okay, well, I'll just say that. We're 20 or however many there.
There was a lot of Vivas drank this last weekend.
Really? So, if we put the over under on 15, the over?
Well, this is the thing, Drew Martin Betts. We were drinking. Okay, so you've said this before. The Vivas don't give you a hangover, and I would actually agree with it. The reason why I was hungover was not because of the Vivas. It was because of the espresso. Well, wait, let me rephrase it. The wine, then the after dinner drink, then the espresso martini that Trig, Ariel, and Chris decided we had to have at Mastro's at 1:00 in the morning. That's the problem, right? Yeah. So I actually think I only drank 2 Vivas the first day, technically maybe 3. I'd have to think about before we went to dinner. And then on Saturday, I probably had like 8 or 9.
Okay. But it was
so no, I did not hit the over 15. But like on an NFL Sunday, I think I would set the over under at 9. 9's a good number.
Trig and I smashed over 15, and it wasn't each.
I think it wasn't a quiet 15 either, I'm guessing.
I think we were over 24 and a half each.
Oh, wow. Going big time.
Yeah, it was a long night.
All right, that's a little appetizer towards the New York City weekend.
Right. Yeah, Drew. You know how like when in hockey, when like someone scores a goal and they're like momentum's carrying them to the goal and they score and they kind of like go down on one knee and do like the pump. I'm certain that Chris did that in the middle of the bar when the Avs scored to like win, and it just got, once we hit that, it was like it just went off the rails from that point.
Oh, nice. Like a little bit quasi black. I can't wait to hear about this. This is the appetizer of New York City, guys. I was getting over a little Montezuma's revenge from Mexico. I couldn't make it up, but I'm very interested in hearing more about it. Hey, we got to get to NBA, though, guys. We got the game tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Pacific. Golden State at Boston. Venue change. CT Bets, you're a Boston guy. -3.5, -3 at Caesars in Las Vegas. We are seeing mostly 3 in the hooks, though, guys. Actually, a -4 in Circa. Interestingly here, so a full point difference in the NBA Finals game into Las Vegas Sportsbook. Looking at the WagerTalk odds screen right now, guys. 213.5 the total. I guess throw it over to you here, CT Bets. The floor is yours. NBA Finals, where are you going with this?
Yeah, sure. I mean, Sunday night's game, we saw it turned out to be a blowout. The first half was very close. Golden State ends up taking a 2-point lead into half, and then they come out guns a-blazing in the third quarter. same song and dance as game one for the third quarter as they shot the lights out, except it was a different outcome this time. The Celtics did not go on a huge run in the fourth quarter. They decided to just pack it in and sit the starters and put the scrubs in here. The one thing that I think that the Celtics have going for them tonight, Drew Martin bets, is that Klay Thompson has played very, very poorly. They're relying a lot on Steph Curry, and Jordan Poole has been tremendous as well. I think for the Warriors to win this series and win tonight, that Klay Thompson has to come out and has to do something. Steph is not going to be able to carry this, to continue to carry this load by himself. It's the zigzag effect, right? We've seen it kind of all playoffs. The Celtics still have not lost back-to-back games in the playoffs this postseason. I'm leaning towards the Celtics minus the points tonight. We talked about it all the show the past 3-4 weeks. If you're laying, if you like the favorite, lay the points. Do not take the money line. Kelly will probably say the percentage better than me when she starts to talk. I can't remember what the trend is. But the team that wins the game, Drew Martin bets, covers the game. So if you like the Celtics, don't take the money line. I do like the Celtics. The Celtics are still minus 115. Drew Martin bets favorite to win the whole thing. And they're a bigger favorite tonight on the money line, minus 150. That tells me a little something. Kel, they haven't switched the line at all. The betting public's coming in on Golden State. That line has sit right there all night long, all day long. I'm backing the Celtics tonight to get it done and take the lead 2-1.
Yeah, I believe it's now 44-2-1 in the NBA since 2013. I don't have my note sheet from Marco D'Angelo. That is his stat I stole from a couple weeks ago when I did the show with Jay Money. Yeah, you're right. Why lay 170 when you could just lay 3.5? Because it hasn't come into play. Because if you lay 3.5 minus 110, they lose the game outright. You lose 11 to win 10. You lose 17 to win 10, and your bankroll starts to really decimate a lot quicker. So keep an eye on that. What is that? Kelly's dog making noise in the background. Actually, I got not one but two dogs in here. That's why I kept muting myself while Chris was talking, so that it didn't sound like he was growling, snorting, any of the above. Now Max is licking his paws. So that means I'm done talking and going back to mute.
All right, Trig, what are you liking tonight, man?
Well, the group that's been really good with the props that I think we hit. Yeah, so we hit one in game one and one in game two. I don't know if they've done as great on this show when we've given them out as they've done for us just regularly, but they played Klay Thompson under 19.5, and I think it's quickly moved to under 18.5. So I'm just kind of like reporting that as it looks like that's a kind of like a sharp prop play. I guess if they're playing under, that means they're not expecting anything out of Klay again. I don't really know how to take that and read into the game at all. I don't really have a lean on the side or the total for the game, but the props have been good. So I guess I'll just leave that here. Klay Thompson under 19.5. They've been cashing. I already played it. Probably still play 18.5. Hopefully it's another Steph-filled game for the Warriors, or the Celtics just wipe them off the court and they score 90 points, and none of those props get there. We'll see.
Okay, Kelly, did you want to kind of put out your best bet, or you want to save that till the end? Anything?
I'll save my best bet for the end. Okay. If you guys watch Jay Money, WagerTalk Today, Money Shots, if you guys even saw Twitter, you already know what it is. So no need to scroll to the end or wait. But as far as this game goes, I'm a little conflicted, right? This is a Celtics team, and I said this on Money Shots. Like, look, Dave Portnoy, my boss, a big Celtics fan. One of my best friends, CT Pucks, is a big Celtics fan. I don't love the Warriors. I don't want to bet the Warriors in a series. I'm looking at finding spots game to game. I just can't figure out the Celtics team. There's got to be something better that comes out at halftime. This is one of the worst third quarter teams in basketball. And is that because they're one of the best second quarter teams that they just like blow their load going into half and they're just exhausted? I mean, you're taking 25 minutes. You should be able to recoup, regame, and get out there. And that's not what the Celtics team does. So I'm a little bit on the fence here as far as the side goes. But I did want to touch on something. So obviously, as you guys can tell, our wonderful producer, Joe Ranieri, is not here today. He's got a lot of things going on. Let's just be honest. So with all the other Wager Talk shows, I said, Joe, don't worry about tonight. Drew can run it on StreamYard. We'll be here. And I said, okay, I know you got a lot going on, but I still need a pick from tonight. And he said, CT won't like it. And I go, oh, is that why you can't do the show? So Joe is going to actually be on Golden State. He got him plus 135. He also likes him on the alternate line, minus 2.5 plus 185. Now, I can't get on board with that either. I'll be honest with you. This is a Golden State team whose road-home dichotomy has been so off, especially in the playoffs. We've seen them lay an egg in Memphis. We've seen them lay one in Dallas.
Memphis.
Are they going to lay one in Boston? Is it going to be tonight? It might be. It might be. What is it? Next game's in 3 or 4 days. It's tough. I'm not going to sit here and try to play some guessing game. So in true Kelly fashion, I'm going to be on the under. The unders this postseason have been hitting at an incredible clip that hit again the other night. I'm glad I went to Top Gun instead of watching this stupid game. And then I got somebody mad at me on Twitter because he's like, well, did you even watch? No. All I know is that we had Jason Tatum over 27.5 points from the Sharp Group, and it hit. So I was saying some nice things about Jason Tatum, and he goes, he sat almost the whole fourth quarter. Okay, my bad. Top Gun was great, though, if you guys haven't seen it. Very patriotic, right up my alley. Hot guys playing football or something on the beach. Guns, planes. Yeah, go see it. I enjoyed it.
Drew, there's one thing that I'll add before we, start talking about New York City, right? So as a Celtics fan, Drew, like everybody up here is acting like, oh my God, the Celtics suck again now. I mean, if you told me, I did like the Celtics game 1, but if you told me that we were going to the Celtics were going to get out of there 1-1 in the Bay, that's a home run. Are you kidding me? You're coming back to Boston, tied 1-1. Everybody up here, Boston fans are crazy. It's like the end of the world. This series just started. I think the Celtics have a lot of good things going for them, and one of them being that they had a bad third quarter, and I respect Ime's decision. He took everybody off the court, said, all right, you know what? Let's get home. He saw where this game was going. Things were getting out of hand. Let's regroup here. I think they're going to regroup. We're not going to see a fourth quarter, or we're not going to see a third quarter like we did game 1, game 2. I think the Celtics are going to be solid tonight, and we're going to get to see that team that we've seen after a loss all playoffs long.
Well, that's what was so weird about Joe texting me that he was on the Warriors, because I feel like Joe's like the zigzag king.
Right.
This playoffs has been great for zigzag, and obviously that means play the Celtics tonight. So, again, on the side, I don't really have a big opinion here, but I will be on the under first quarter, first half game. But one of those will be my best bet for tonight.
I like it. I like that under look in like big championship games, defense at the forefront. That's a sharp look there, Kelly. Guys, I'm going to kind of rhyme with what CT Betts was saying. I actually think one thing I circled coming into this series is more rest is going to, in my opinion, favor the Celtics, just the road that they've taken here. So a travel day, I think that's actually going to help Boston. Obviously, they're coming back home. -3 available at Caesars, -3 in the hook. That's the side I had circled here. So I'm going to go with the Celtics, -3.5, the bigger, tougher, better defensive team at home. So, NBA Finals, everybody giving their 2 cents here. We got Viva Tequila Seltzer. We flavored our tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with a kick, just as we like to live our lives. Guys, go to vivatequilaseltzer.com. Use the coupon code HUSTLE. Very simple, just HUSTLE at checkout. 10% off. Can get it at your house. That's all you had to do. vivatequilaseltzer.com. WagerTalk.com. We got the WagerTalk live odds screen, best free live odds in the industry. I'm always looking at it. And a huge shout out to the chat box. We got Paco Healy. We got Demon Slayer in the house. Jay Cool, Alfonso, all you guys, Keith Landry. Thanks for joining us live right here on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. This is the last Hustle Show podcast until football season. We'll be back for week 0, maybe the week before. Kelly, is that when this is going down? Are we official on when the live show will be in Las Vegas and the Wager Talk kind of meetup? Is that in the books, or are we still a little bit off from that?
So I actually just now got a text back from John Murray. I called him at 4 p.m. He goes, sorry, kid, still in a meeting. I said, okay, free until 6. He texts at 6:13 Eastern. I'm free now. Well, no shit, John Murray. Of course you're free now. I'm trying to lock down some things with him very, very, very tentatively. August 19th through 22nd will be our live show in Vegas, which is supposed to be their Super Contest weekend. We're going to kind of label it Wager Talk weekend. I'm hoping to get everything solidified here in the next week or so, like lockdown. We're going to either do some sort of convention space there at the Westgate, hold maybe some seminars like they used to, or at least like 1 4-hour seminar, talk about the NFL, talk about college football, drink some Vivas, obviously, eat some food, and really have a good weekend. Obviously, they also put on a really fun golf tournament, which is like 119. So I'm going to just melt, but it's going to be great. And it's going to be an awesome time. As long as I get John Murray to call me back in a reasonable amount of time, I'll get it locked down. And then we can actually start promoting it as something definitive.
Cool. Yeah, August 19th to the 22nd is in the books, it sounds like. Not for sure in pen, maybe in pencil.
Well, like what we're going to do is all right here and in my notepad, and then the dates. I mean, yeah, I'm going to be there. But we're going to have a Wager Talk event. Well, let's see if John Murray can get back with me with the convention space and all that fun stuff.
Okay, cool. Well, that sounds fun. I can't wait for that. That's actually the weekend before week 0 of college football. So you'll be able to get some bets in, get ready, sign up for contests if you need to do that. We got the Winner's Circle Proxy, guys. That's the one I would recommend. That's the one, hey, I've used for 5+ years, never had a problem, and cash this past year in the Golden Nuggets. So, hey, we'll do that live show, The Hustle, from likely the Westgate Sportsbook, and that's coming up the weekend before week 0 of college football. But we got to get to the recap of New York City. So tell me, guys, what, you fly into New York, you all meet up, and Viva's just in hand, and it starts out as a party? Is that how it started?
Well, Kel could kick it off and say how it all started, because her and I were, I'll let her take it from here. But I thought I was going to have an anxiety attack, and we both wanted to kill somebody, and we hadn't seen each other in months.
So CT Bats is so kind enough to pick me up at JFK because he had to drive down, like all the swag, the equipment to do the show, all that stuff from Boston. So he drove. He's like, oh, I'll come get you. I'm like, CT, like I can hire a driver or take an Uber or whatever. He's like, oh, no, I'll come get you. So get in the car, and this car reeks of black ice. And I'm like, I'm going to vomit. Like, get me out of here. So the first thing I do is throw away the 2, not just 1, 2 black ice air fresheners. In case you guys ever want to know, it's the worst smelling air freshener on the planet. Pretty sure the only time I almost vomited in Uber was because of those said air fresheners. That being said, then we get stuck in the traffic for the next hour and 20 minutes or so, headed into the city. And CT's like, well, I didn't bring a collared shirt for dinner. And I'm like, dude, we're going to Mastros. He's like, I've never been to a Mastros. I'm like, so I was like, fine. I need a new pair of shoes anyway. Let's go to Nordstrom. 2 hours later, we're at Nordstrom drinking margaritas. I finally get a pair of shoes. He finally gets a shirt. Go back to the hotel, throw ourselves together, and waiting on Adam Trigger. And, CT and I went and met up with mine and Ariel's agents, just chit-chatting, making some connections there. And then we meet up with Adam and the Queen at Mastro's. I kind of already preluded to that, but they made fun of me because we got the butter cake for dessert, and there's like a big chunk of ice cream. And what the play is, as somebody who is an avid Mastro's eater, you want to smush the ice cream into the cake so it you get a good ice cream to butter cake ratio. And then all hell broke loose because they were making fun of me about smashing the butter cake.
We just smashed the rest of our food from that point forward, basically.
They really did. They just they're like, well, we have to smash this dessert now. I'm like, no, this is a cheesecake. You don't have to do that. Anyway, so that's when I knew the night took a turn for the worse. And then when Ariel was yelling at the bartender about my $35 glass of wine that tasted like feet, the guy was not very amused with us. Needless to say, by the time we closed that place down around 2 a.m., yeah.
That was Friday.
That was Friday.
That was just one day/night. It seemed like we were there for an eternity. It was
we were there for less than 48 hours.
Yeah,
and
I
literally
a day and a half, Drew.
Yeah.
I was thinking your dinner ends at 2 a.m. I mean, is that kind of the end of the night? You have a show?
Well, because it was like this. Like either I was going to go home, change, I'm going to dress in heels. Ariel's going to dress in heels. And we have been for hours. Like either I'm going to go home and put on something more comfortable and we're going to go to like McSorley's, which is a shitty dive bar that I love, but I can't wear a black dress and 6-inch heels in McSorley's. I mean, I can, but then I already couldn't feel my feet on the sawdust and just drinking like little baby beers. Like it just doesn't fit. So I was like, well, what do we want to do? Next thing you know, just kind of carried over. Next morning, I am just in a world of hurt. I think everybody else was as well. And I basically didn't pack anything in my bag. Don't ask me what I packed, but I didn't pack anything that I needed. And so Chris said, hey, I'm going to go to a Walgreens, CVS. I'm like, you got to go to a Dwayne Reed. And it was not me telling him to go to a Dwayne Reed, but I just meant like, if you're looking for a CVS in New York City, it may take you 3 miles out of the way, where a Dwayne Reed's like on every corner, right? They're all owned by the same people. But either way, so he goes and I like send him a laundry list of things I needed. He was ready to murder me. But I did get to shave my legs. Then I got to rally and we went to brunch and kind of started things off from there.
Well, Friday night, the problem was, right? So it wasn't a problem because it turned out to be a fun night. We had a nice dinner, right? Drew Martin Bets, and I gave out the Rangers, right? CT pucks. So we have the TV behind us, behind Ariel's head, and I'm watching the game. Rangers are in an absolute grind. If you watch that game, they end up getting the win, but we're in the middle of dinner. We got dessert, and now it's, middle second period. So there wasn't any point in going back to the hotel, getting changed, then going to McShirley's. The whole point was we wanted to watch the game at the bar after dinner, but dinner was so good and took so long. We were like, fuck it. Let's just stay here. Rangers end up winning. We had a couple after dinner drinks, and,
nice.
Trig was like this on his phone. I don't know what
he was writing up KBO plays at the bar.
Yeah, writing up KBO, and him and Ariel were watching a baseball game on their phones, and Kelly and I were kind of sitting there and
getting berated by the bartender for I don't remember what my bad take he thought I had was, but it was really funny. I had a good time. Absolutely.
Drew, how do we get rid of these things in the comments?
The sex bots. How do we get rid of the sex bots in the comments?
That's when you know. That's how you know you've made it, Kel.
I kind of like when those just pop up. They don't really bother me.
All the water emojis.
Yeah,
I think you just gotta block them. Yeah, I think we
there
should be
you
good now.
You want to know what's really funny? That was the exact same one that hit me and Megan's StreamYard earlier. Kid you not?
Yeah. Hey,
they must just go underneath the sports gambling circuit and just berate everybody in the comments with their water emojis.
Hopefully, Elon Musk can fix that, but I don't know.
So Drew,
except he doesn't own YouTube or StreamYard, but okay.
For Saturday night, I didn't even realize we've already been on for 26 minutes. So Saturday, I was a little on edge. I will admit, I wanted to, I was nervous about the show getting done right and everything. So all four of us, and like I said, without Kelly and Ariel, it would have never happened. So I got all the equipment. We were scattering. Ariel had some at her house because we shipped it to her. I had some in my car. It was a whole process. New York City, you have to get from the hotel, then the area.
Time out. Drew Martin Bets. So our producer, Joe Ranieri, gave Chris an entire list. If I had to give you an over-under on number of lights that Chris ordered, how many would you guess?
I'd probably guess 3 or 4.
8. 8 fucking lights. I
just wanted to make sure we were going to be all right, Drew. You know me.
What are we doing the show in a cave? Like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I need this. And I got all these fucking lights. So me and Chris, in true brother sister type fashion, were definitely a little on edge at that point. But luckily we had somebody to run to Best Buy for us and save the day with the last piece of equipment that we needed.
Yes. So we get everything set up. And then, everybody wasn't feeling the greatest at the same time, including myself. And Trig was, just walking around watching every single sport.
Oh yeah. Trig, I'm like, Trig, get out of my way. I was ready to
just in the way, Drew.
I was like, either pick up these boxes, put something together, or just go out of my face.
So as you know, Drew, we get the show done. I thought the show was pretty good. We did a great job. This is the most important part of Saturday night. Okay, Drew Martin Bets. We finished the show, and obviously the girls have a million people that showed up to see them and wanted to talk to them and whatnot. Trig and I are kind of sitting there, whatever. So we finished the show. I said to Trig, I'm like, all right, let's go grab a Viva at the bar. He's like, yeah, sure. So I'm walking to the bar. Trig's like kind of behind me a little bit. I'm walking up, and there's this guy sitting at the corner of the bar. And he looks up. He stands up, Drew Martin Bets. He goes, CT fucking Bets! Holy fucking shit! Trig, you guys are the fucking best! I'm fucking Danny. I'm your biggest fucking fan. I'm here with my wife. I told her we had to come fucking see you guys. Fucking love you guys, man. I need a Viva. You guys fucking rock. Just like that.
Yes. I love this like Danny, man.
Just like
Drew, you've met Danny. That's the best part.
Yeah, good.
It
All right.
turns out we had met him 2 years ago, COVID, when all of us were down there at the Westgate. He came over. Trig and I started to remember him a little bit. Great guy. His name's Danny Dimes. He was with his wife, Mal Dimes. Okay.
Mal Dimes.
Mal Dimes. We have a bunch of Vivas with them. We hit it off with them, had a great time. They couldn't have been nicer. Danny Dimes ends up sending Mal Dimes home and says, Mal Dimes, I'm going out with CT Betts and Trig.
That was my favorite part of Trig telling me the next day. He goes, oh, yeah, he sent Mal Dimes home. I go, who the fuck is Mal Dimes?
Yeah.
True, I didn't make any part of that story up. No. That's exactly how it happened.
Oh, right, this man is awesome.
We were out I think we were out to like, I don't even remember. We were out very late with Danny Dimes.
On Saturday night?
Saturday
night.
By
the time I woke up to make my flight, Trig was already at home.
Yeah, I got up and I got out of there. That was aggressive move. But
we go out with Danny Dimes, and Trig and Danny Dimes have the Mets. So we're in New York City. So we go to a sports bar to watch the end of the game. Somehow it felt like it was 2 a.m, and somehow it was only the 6th inning. I don't know how. I think they were playing out in LA. So Trig and Danny have the Mets. The Mets come back. The Mets cash Drew Martin bets. All of a sudden, Danny Dimes, I shit you not, is doing the fucking hula in the middle of the bar.
Yes. Danny Dimes needs to come around more. I like this guy.
You better be careful or you're going to piss AC money off. You made best friends with somebody else already in Vegas.
Happy right now that Danny is kind of stepping in his domain here.
That is great. I would have loved to have been there, especially Saturday for the show. Like I woke up Saturday morning. And I was thinking
I had to like put on like businesswoman hat for like 10 minutes. CT introduced me to either his friend or one of his brother's friends that does some stuff with USA Today. And I'm like 5 or 6 Vivas deep at this point. He's like, no, you got to go over and meet him. I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody in the media right now. I'm drunk. And he goes, no. He's on the sales side. He's not going to write some like article and quote you wasted. And I'm like,
friends with Steve.
Like, at least I was smart enough to be like, no, I'm not talking to anybody in the media. I like walked away. He goes, no, you idiot. Come over here. He just happens to work for this publication on the sales side. So hopefully some big things with WagerTalk. Maybe that can come into works there. But so then I took like a good like hour pause from drinking. And I think that was the worst mistake. Because at that point I was like, downward spiral. So me and Ariel, I think went home at like 11:30. So you guys were definitely out. I mean, it sounds like hours and hours after we were.
Well, Kel, he was with us when we went back to the hotel to call your room. So he was then we went out. So
Danny Dimes was?
Yeah. He said, why don't you guys wake Kelly up? So I was like, all right, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea.
I called Kel's cell phone. She didn't answer. I go, don't worry, Danny. I'll call from the room. He goes, oh, yeah, that's a great idea.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Fuck you, Danny.
But we had to call the front desk and have them like put us through to Kel's room.
Well, were you like trying to put out a missing persons alert? They should have said
Chris is
no.
Chris is like, that's my sister's room. You need to connect us to this room. And we got through.
Yeah.
And he screamed in your ear so loud. You just hung up. It was awesome. Then we went out. That was it. That's it.
Oh, wait. So that was it. He came back with you guys after the Canuck. So it wasn't that late. And then you guys went out again.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So it really wasn't. Because in my like drunk, tired brain, I was like, I just fell asleep, you assholes, which is probably actually is probably actually factual. I probably had just
You probably just dozed off that. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And do you remember anything when you left that second time? Because that's usually where the night gets really interesting. You know
that the Mets got it done. That's just about it. Yeah.
Mets got it done. Danny Dimes doing the hula. There was a lot of yelling and screaming, a lot of hugging. It was a good job. Oh, it was a great time. And then the best thing is Danny Dimes living in Hoboken. I introduced him to my brother. And my phone is blowing up right now on silent. I guess Steve and Danny Dimes are together right now in Hoboken. Danny Dimes is watching this show. They're together. Steve gave him some Viva, and Danny knows everybody in Hoboken, Treg, shocker, and introduced them to like 5 bars in Hoboken that are going to take Viva in.
Hoboken's a good time. Have you guys ever been to Hoboken?
I actually requested that we stayed in Hoboken, remember? Not the city.
Yeah, there's some good. Some good spots.
Take it up with Steve Thurston.
Yeah,
take it up with Steve. Shut up and take your Marriott points.
Get yourself to Hoboken for like their St. Patrick's Day weekend is intense. Like I don't know if I can handle it at this age, but like I used to go in my early 20s and it was pretty wild.
So,
All right, we have to know the question in the comments: who does the better hula, Danny Dimes or CT Pucks? Obviously, CT cannot answer this, so Adam Trigger was the only other one that was there.
Yeah.
Danny does a loud hula. I think he does a loud everything. Let's just put it that way. He's just a loud personality. I'm not picking one over the other. Obviously, CT invented the hula. So
moral of the
He
story:
invented the hula. Oh, okay.
Danny
Yeah,
Dimes is a team player, right? Danny Dimes, big fan of all of ours, big fan of the show, big fan of Viva, and now helping out, our show sponsor right now. I mean, what more can you ask out of Danny Dimes?
Danny Dimes. I can't wait to see it. Hopefully in Vegas, man. That is a great story. Is he actually watching right now? Or
He's
did you mean
watching
he was
right
watching?
now?
Wait, he's with Steve Thurston right now.
Yeah, they're watching together. Him, Babe, and Danny Dimes.
That is outrageous. That's outrageous.
Danny Dimes.
I love it.
Cheers to you, buddy. Steve as well. Oh, everybody out there. Love it. Anything else we want to throw out before we shut this down, guys?
We gonna do a best bet. I got a best bet. Goes tomorrow. Trey, anything in baseball or?
Yeah, well, I'll start with just some random stuff. Baseball, the play I really loved already went was the Royals at 1.
Yeah, thank you for that, Trig. That was he texted that, and I'm like looking at it. I'm like, yeah, right. This is just begging. I only took I took Royals plus 1.5, and I knew I should have bet him on the money line. I was like back and forth about to hit send, and I'm like, nope, Trig's plays plus 1.5. If I bet the money line, they're gonna lose 6-5, and I'm gonna be pissed.
So I got a couple other run line plays that I like. They weren't quite as strong for me as Royals, so they weren't client plays. But one goes in literally 4 minutes. Nationals plus 1.5. Think it's good value. I don't think the Marlins should be that big a favorite. And I haven't checked the lineups, but if the Angels, as long as they're not trotting out some awful lineup, I think you got to play Angels plus 1.5. Like, Eovaldi's a fade for me, and they're not going to lose every game the rest of the season. And I don't think, honestly,
is this the new Cincinnati Reds?
I haven't bet the Angels, Kel. I haven't bet the Angels a single time on that run. So for me,
I didn't say you have. I don't. But you're saying you're going to bet them tonight, and that's what I'm asking. Like, how many more?
That's how I lean. I'm saying I lean Nats and I lean Angels, both on the plus 1.5. Think those are the two best things on the board the rest of the night for baseball. And the Sharp Group whacked the Mystics in WNBA earlier. It's moved, but if you can figure out how to incorporate Mystics money line, or maybe you can if you can find a 3.5 somewhere and maybe get it down to 3. Mystics is got hit pretty hard earlier. I think the money line's still only minus 170. I know you can do something with it, even if you have to parlay it with something else. But they played the Mystics, so. Mystics, Nats plus 1.5, Angels plus 1.5 is all I'm really seeing tonight.
I heard he lost against Trig on that Blue Jays pick there, Kelly, in Vegas. So
and I looked at it and I go, the whole world is going to be on the Blue Jays, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. It's the Royals. The last time I bet the Royals, they blew a 4-1 lead. The time before that, I bet the Royals. It was 8-3, and I texted the group and I said, how the Royals bullpen going to fuck me over today? I just was waiting for it. He goes, oh, you thought they're going to give up a 6-run lead? Yes. As a matter of fact, I did, Trig.
They are one of the worst bullpens in baseball.
Yeah. And I don't even follow baseball, and I know that. Just from casually watching the scores, and I'm going, what just happened? You just give up a 4-run shot in the top of the 8th? Way to go, guys. Show some pride.
That was a tough one, Trig, but I think I'm going to go up against you again, man. I like the Red Sox, minus 150. I really do. 13 in a row losing. Ride the hot, fade the cold.
Give us a 5-4 Red Sox win, and everyone's happy. There we go.
There you go.
All right.
Hopefully I don't go 0-2 against Trig, though. I like the Sox guys tonight. That's 9:40 Eastern, up against the losing of 13 in a row, the LA Angels. CT bets, CT pucks. What are you thinking here, man?
Yeah, Drew Martin bets. I'm going to go back to the ice. On going into Sunday, I was 9-0 in my last 9 on the ice. I gave out the Rangers plus 163. They blow a 2-0 lead and they lose. So ends the big run. And then on Monday, the Avalanche Oilers game, Kelly asked me who I like. I didn't have an official play. I said I leaned Colorado, didn't give it out. They got the sweep, but as Trig pointed out earlier in the show, I forgot I said this, but I said I liked Colorado to sweep on this show on Saturday. So if you listen to it and you listen to CT Pucks, you did all right. I didn't have a play on last night's game either, but I will have a play on tomorrow night's game, Drew Martin bets, and that is the New York Rangers coming back home plus 105. I locked it in today. The Rangers outshot Tampa Bay last night. They just could not put the puck in the net. I expect the Garden to be rocking tomorrow night. Shesterkin is playing great still in goal for the New York Rangers. I like them to go up 3-2 tomorrow. Drew Martin bets. I still think they're going to win this series. Everybody now is back all over Tampa because, it's Tampa. They're the champs back to back. And then, everybody was counting them out. They've won the last two. No, this is how this series was supposed to go. The home teams are winning. Rangers are going to win tomorrow night at home. Drew Martin bets. Throwing a little bonus in here. Our friend Dan Lifshatz and I talked about this last night on my radio show. We said if Tampa Bay wins tomorrow night, we will be on the Rangers today, meaning this morning, to win the cup. We're going to be able to get a great price on them. Drew Martin bets. I just put $1,000 on the New York Rangers to win it all, plus 600. Plus 600 Drew Martin bets to win the cup, and the series is tied 2-2. Jeff Sherman came out and said that if it's Colorado versus the New York Rangers, he makes Colorado a minus 250 fave. So meaning you're probably going to be able to only get the Rangers plus 215, plus 220, what depends on what book you're shopping at. Drew Martin bets. Plus 600 on the Rangers to win the whole thing right now is a great bet.
I like it. A lot of value there. 1,000 to win 6,000, or at least 5,000. I like it, man. Good stuff, CT bets. Hey, Trig, Kelly in Vegas, anything before we shut this down?
Yeah, I'm going to take the first half under 107.5 at the Barstool Sportsbook. I think we see a lot of really hard-fought defense in this first half. And frankly, I do for the whole game as well. But the Celtics need this win at home. Whether anybody thinks that, that's great, they come back to Boston 1-1. They need to win tonight after their crappy performance on Monday. And was it Sunday? Good God, what day is it? That shows you where I'm at in my brain. Universal Studios totally broke me. I think I got a concussion on the Hulk. And that's it. I'm going with these unders until the end of time. I'm excited for football season, but that is why tonight's going to be our last show. I told Jay Money I would do one more show with him on Wednesday. I told Prez this is my last day on Wager Talk today until football season because I have a lot of work to do if I would even like to attempt to replicate last college football season.
Yeah, can't wait for that. How many units up, Kelly? It was ridiculous.
52. It's never going to happen again. But you know what? It's okay. I'll take 48 units this year. No big deal.
Perfect.
I didn't realize it was that crazy. Wow.
Yeah,
Kelly, you just
the two
have to have
parlays
your wins.
alone were almost 20-some units right there.
Yeah, well, as long as your wins line up and they come in threes and you can hit those parlays, you're good to go. That'll keep you rolling for a while.
I just got to hit one a year and we're free rolling. So that's where I really am focusing on. Not only that, because those parlays are fun and obviously attainable, but picking out college football underdogs every single week. Even if you go 2 out of 3, 2 and 1, you're making money, and that's my goal. And I want everybody, whether it's at Barstool, whether it's at Wager Talk, that's my ultimate goal is I want people to make money and become better bettors.
Absolutely. Well said, Kelly.
True.
Trig, anything in closing? Yeah.
Yeah, just that I said Klay Thompson under 19.5 earlier, probably under 18.5 now, but that's like the prop that we've been hitting these props, and that's what we're on tonight. So just give that out again.
Adam Trigger, Kelly in Vegas, CT Bets. I am Drew Martin. Guys, VivaTequilaSeltzer.com. Go there. Use the coupon code HUSTLE at checkout, 10% off. VivaTequilaSeltzer.com, WagerTalk.com as well. Our belief is to live long, live well, live it up. #VivaUp. All thanks for tuning in. We will be back middle of